Hey guys, welcome back for another exciting episode of Canon Fodder. Let's not waste any time and dive right in. This week's article starts with a follow-up interview with Matt Forbeck, author of Halo New Blood. The interview is very spoiler heavy, so spoiler alert in this episode, mainly talking about the major plot points and plot twists of the book, such as the dynamic between members of Alpha 9, the relationship between Buck and Veronica, and of course, the rookie's death and Mickey's betrayal. It's very insightful and, like before, shows how much of a true Halo fan Mr. Forbeck really is. Check it out if you liked the first interview and or have read the book. The article moves forward to briefly talk about Halo Hunters in the Dark. Regarding the Spartan in the cover, it turns out that it is not Fred 104, nor is it even Centurion armor, as I had speculated in my previous video on the book. While a little sad, I'm still looking forward to it. Speaking of books, this week in the Halo Bulletin, host Jay Furchett sat down with Halo franchise manager Corrine Robinson to talk about the 4 new books announced a few weeks ago. Nothing major to report, but she does provide a bit of insight into the process of producing these novels, the author selection, and a bit on the new focus on ebooks. It's short but interesting, so I'd recommend checking it out. Moving back to Canon Fodder, the next section is a brief bit about the Hunt the Truth story. Mainly it confirms that Ben Jihu is the photographer from Second Sunrise over New Mombasa. Of interest, though, is a letter that was posted on the Hunt the Truth Tumblr yesterday, and is linked in the Canon Fodder article. The letter is what sent Ben Jihu on his path and features a very familiar name. The letter itself basically outlines the task, which we all know about from the first audio episode. Who it's from and where it's from are the interesting bits. The letter is from the Senior Communications Director of ONI, Michael Sullivan. If you haven't watched Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn, Michael Sullivan was a student at the Corbulo Academy of Military Science, and one of the few survivors of the attack on Cersinius 4. In Forward Unto Dawn, Sullivan actually hacks ONI files to find classified footage of the then-secret Spartan program, though he didn't know what he was looking at the time. It certainly brings a new perspective to the original intent of Jihu's profile of the Master Chief. Some have wondered if ONI was trying to make a smear campaign to shift public opinion on the Master Chief. It would certainly make it easier to brand him a traitor. Or, perhaps, could Sullivan just want to get the truth out about the Chief? The letter from Sullivan to Jihu heavily implies that the two have worked together before, so perhaps Sullivan knew that Jihu would follow the story to the end, no matter what he found. What also caught my eye was where the letter was from: Boston. Now, to the casual observer, that may seem like nothing more than a well-known city in modern America. But as I was reminded, Boston is, in the 26th century, home to Chaw La Base, an ONI military facility featured in the ARG I Love Bees. Coincidence? I think not. Moving forward, the next section contains links to Instagram albums with tons of concept art for Halo 4 and the MCC. It's exciting stuff if you're into concept art and the process that goes into making video games. I would certainly recommend it if you haven't seen this stuff. The article then wraps up with a very exciting announcement that next week will be the next community Q&A. Hell yeah. If you have a question or questions you want answered, check the description box below for the link to the relevant thread. As before, the rules are pretty simple. 1 post per user, no more than 3 questions per post. Ask away. As always, we close the episode with a look at the new Halo Universe articles. This week we have the Type 46 Infantry Support Vehicle, or Spectre, the Earth Megacity New Mombasa, and the Colony Moon of Talisa. In addition, we have updates to the articles for Buck, Dare, Dutch, Romeo, Mickey, and the Rookie to include the new information for each character from Halo New Blood. If you've read the book, there's not a whole lot to discuss. If you've only seen my review or haven't seen it and don't mind spoilers, major spoilers, I'd encourage you to check them out. Anyway, on to the new stuff. We start with the Spectre. The Spectre is said to have been first observed during the Battle of Sargasso in 2546. Once again, Sargasso is the homeworld of Spartan Daisy 023, and as we learn in Halo New Blood, more spoilers, the location of one of Buck's missions with the original Alpha 9. Beyond this little Easter egg, there's not much more to discuss. Next up is New Mombasa. There's not a whole lot to talk about in regards to the city itself, much of it just repeating information from Halo 2, Halo 3 ODST, and the Halo Encyclopedia. What is interesting, though, is what comes next. The article canonizes the Halo 2 maps District, Headlong, Ivory Tower, and Turf. Each is given a Wargames map number, and some have explanations as to why it was included in the Wargames simulator. Definitely one of my favorite ideas for map descriptions going forward. If I were to wager, I would say this decision is probably related to the recent announcement of Halo Online, which features a remake of Turf along with several other Halo maps. But regardless of why, I do hope we get to see more of this stuff going forward. Finally, we have Talisa, the site of major development in Halo New Blood. The article reveals a lot of new and interesting tidbits about the moon, even in the wake of Halo New Blood. And forgive me ahead of time if I mispronounce some of these names, they're all Russian. I tried to find proper pronunciations where possible, but that wasn't always possible. The colony moon orbits the gas giant Vitalyevna, which orbits the star Sverdlovsk. The star is named after the Sverdlovsk Oblast, a type of administrative district in Russia. Talisa is one of at least 3 moons that orbits the giant. The moon's gravity is about 0.9 Gs, and major cities include Bedinka, Irbit, Kutorsk, and Yushala. Bedinka is named for a geological location in Russia, Irbit for a town in the Sverdlovsk Oblast, Kutorsk for a type of small urban locality in some Eastern European countries, and Yushala for a town in the Sverdlovsk Oblast. Prior to the Human Covenant War, the colony was known to have a general anti-centralization sentiment, with uprisings in major population centers in 2493, 2516, and 2520. These uprisings resulted in smaller insurrectionist sects merging into larger groups, making the planet all but ungovernable outside the capital. In modern times, the planet's official governing body is the Talisa Corporate Council. The Talisa article comes to a close with a mention of the Wargames map Outcast, set on the colony moon near some URF bases. And so, that brings this week to a close. While my video is short, the article itself is a damn good read, especially the interview with author Matt Forbeck. But again, it has major spoilers for Halo New Blood, so read at your own risk. As I mentioned before, next week will be another community Q&A, so check the link in the description box and ask away. Once again, 1 post per user, 3 questions per post. Choose wisely. Well, that's all for today. Tomorrow we'll see the release of the next episode of Hunt the Truth, along with a live-action Halo 5 trailer that will supposedly give us the first hints at Halo 5's story. I certainly can't wait. Seriously, where the hell's the doctor? I need to get to the future. Anyway, this has been Halo Canon, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. It means more than I can express in a few minutes of audio. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it around on whatever social media you see fit, and all that jazz. Thank you so much. Your support is everything. I would not be where I am without you. Thanks.